Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
He's alive!
Welcome to where the weird ones are.
Every time I speak, I want the truth to come out.
Powerful figures in Hollywood as well as powerful politicians who are in fact not human. They're reptiles or they're lizards or perhaps extraterrestrials.
I don't think it is a human. I think it's a Sasquatch.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama.
Let's get weird.
What's up, you fucking weirdos? Welcome to another episode of Where the Weird Ones Are. My name is Kevin, but you probably already knew that, and if you didn't, now you do. Frank, say hi. All right, thanks, Frank. Thanks for saying hi, you dumb bitch. All right. Today's episode is with Alex. He is a paranormal investigator. I believe it's Ghost. So if you look for him on his socials, it's Ghost Seekers Texas, just TX. This kid has some heart. I really enjoyed speaking with him. A very genuine, sweet person. It's really nice to see how like investigators go into these places and they care about where they're investigating so much, and they become friends with the people that own the place and stuff like that. And Alex is one of those kinds of investigators, and I appreciate that, and I commend him for it. It means a lot to me to not only to preserve history and to retell the stories that have been handed down from generations to generations to continue going. You know what I mean? And he has some interesting stories where they were out of jail and there was noises and they thought somebody had gotten in, and they had called the cops, and the cops were like, I'm not going the fuck in there. And then he's pretty his friends told him that basically he was pretty much possessed. He doesn't remember the incident. So that's kind of creepy. And then he fucking came across some creepy people just randomly in the woods on an investigation. So you got to watch out for people more than anything. Like people are more dangerous than these cryptids or these ghosts that you're investigating and looking for. You nine times out of 10, if harm is to befall you, it's by the hands of another human, and the human condition is ridiculous. The way we treat each other is so out there. It's hard to fathom, really. But I don't know. I mean, I hope we get better. So far, I haven't seen any kind of evidence. Society has kind of sort of done that a little bit, but you still see it. Still see it all the time. Especially if you're one of those people that watch the news all the time because you enjoy being scared of your neighbors. Anyways, I'm not gonna get into that tangent that I could probably talk an hour about, but yeah, go show Alex some love. Ghost Seekers Texas. Dude's freaking phenomenal, doing phenomenal work. He's was recommended to me by Steven from Black Smoke Paranormal. So shout out Black Smoke Paranormal, Steven and Mela. Amazing people. Love them to death. And yeah, so 40 and Fest, I mean, not 40 and Fest, Encounter Quest is coming up really fucking quick, guys. So if you're in the Hamlet, North Carolina area, would love to see you come down, hang out, maybe try some hot sauce. I'll have t-shirts and shit. So come hang out, see the speakers too. Go to encounterquest.com for tickets to see the speakers. And if you want to do the meet and greet, so Encounter Quest is the April 13th. The meet and greet is the night of April 12th. So go to the encounterquest.com and check it out. Jess, who's been on the show, is one of the organizers. Phenomenal person. Love that woman to death. I can't speak any more higher of a for her than I can anybody, really. Amazing person, such a sweet, kind heart. So yeah, go show Encounter Quest some fucking love, you know. So if you're in the area, come check it out. 40 and Fest coming up too, right here in Sanford, Maine, at the Memorial Gym, June 8th. Go to Facebook, 40 and Fest, to get your tickets, or you can even contact Paranormal 5. Those are the organizers, Missy and Richie. Lovely people, love them. So happy that I met them. And they're good friends with Nomar Slevik, who's been on the show and who's gonna be on the show again because he is doing a 10th anniversary for his UFOs over Maine. And two of my encounters are in said book. So you should check it out. You should check the book out. Support Nomar, please, and spank you. All right. Other than that, really, if you enjoy the show, please like, follow, share, subscribe, leave a rating and review. I would greatly appreciate it. The Patreon is up. It's patreon.com/weirdos only. $5 a month. Pretty inexpensive. Get extra content like Conspiracy Tuesdays and Story Time. You get a free coffee mug. So make sure you put your address in there. So I can send you one, even if it's a PO box. That's totally fine. I'm not looking to, track you down. So, what else? The website. You want some merch? Where the Weird Ones Are, podcast.com. And if you have a story of your own that you would like to tell and be featured on the show, reach out to me. Where the Weird Ones Are, gmail.com. Or you can hit up the Instagram. Instagram's where I'm most active, where_ the weird ones are. Facebook's where the weird ones are. Threads, where _ the weird ones are. TikTok, it is Kevin This Is. TikTok is Kevin This Is. Snapchat, Kevin _ James 88, So that's what it is. If you are on any of those platforms, you can reach out to me if you want to be on the show, or if you just want to talk about weird shit. It's totally fine. I'm down for the conversations regardless of whether I'm recording or not. Discord, weirdos only. Where the weird ones are, weirdos only. Discord, get in on that. I barely never on it. I forget about it. But maybe this will be the kick in the ass. I'm saying fucking a lot, dude, and it's really starting to irritate me. So, why don't we just get into the fucking show with Alex? Because he's an amazing person. You guys are gonna like him. You're gonna like him a lot. So, here we go.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Let's get weird. Weird. Get weird.
What's up, party people? Welcome to another installment. This should be a fun one. So Alex and I have tried, I think this is the third time now, of setting this up, and finally we were able to record, so I'm so happy about this. Alex, tell the good people how you're doing today.
I am doing fantastic today. I woke up feeling really good today and was really looking forward to talking with you.
Same, man, same. I meant to message you last night just to confirm because I usually try and do the night or the very first thing in the morning. So when you message, I was like, did I forget? I totally forgot to tell him to be like, yes, let's do this. Where I'm so ready. Um, but man, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we're able to do this now. But
Me too.
for the people that don't know who you are and don't know what you're about, if you don't mind spilling the beans on yourself.
Okay. Well, my name is Alex Fountain. I am the lead investigator of Ghost Seekers TX here in San Antonio, Texas. And Chris, who's not here with me sadly, he films with me as well, and he is a paranormal investigator with me. And he's just awesome. He's a really good videographer. He's a good photographer, and overall, he's just a really good investigator as well.
Nice, man. So, have you guys been, were you guys friends previous to getting the group started, or did you guys meet through starting the group?
We met a little bit before he became part of Ghost Seekers.
Okay.
Originally, he was supposed to just come out with us and do some photography for us, and he just clicked. He clicked with investigating. He clicked with just everything. And like over the past few months now, um, I've just seen lots of progression with him, with his videography, photography, and just stuff like that. And I love seeing his eyes light up when he gets like an idea, because I know it's just gonna be like, yes, that's it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. It's funny how things just work out like that, you know what I mean? It's you put out your vibe, you find your tribe, as a bunch of us like to say. Um Man, it's like for me, doing this podcast has been amazing. I've met so many amazing people, and people are so like almost complete strangers are more supportive than people I've known my entire life, you know what I mean? Which is odd to me. Which I mean, for me personally, I haven't had much of like a supportive group to begin with. So like to have even a little bit of support from complete strangers is like it's completely surreal. And you guys have been doing like I see you guys everywhere. Everybody's like shouting you out, and everybody's there's been a few people that have told me about you, like Mela and Steven. First of all, Steven's the one that reached out to me to tell me about you. First of all, he's like, you got to have Alex on. You got to have Alex
Love
on.
them.
Yeah, they're phenomenal people. I got the pleasure of actually meeting them in person, so that was awesome. Um,
I actually get to
but
meet them in person, uh, 23rd of this month.
no way, that's awesome, man. That's fucking dope. I love those two, and I mean I love everybody that has been on, and um, yeah, the journey is still in the beginning stages. So, but if I was curious, what got you started? Like, what lit that fire for you to start doing your investigating?
I would probably have to say my encounter at Woman Hollering Creek here in Texas. It
Okay.
is right in between San Antonio and Schertz, Texas, I believe. And my old friend group and I went out one night, and this is pretty close to Halloween. I still have the audio recording of this as well to this day. We just parked on the side of the road and sat down where the water runs under like this mini bridge. And
Mhm.
so my friend Christian, Devin, and I were sitting on the ledge, just our feet dangling down, and we're just doing EVP sessions because we didn't really have equipment then. We just had our phones really and one digital recorder, and so I was recording voice memos on my phone to see if I could capture anything. And our third EVP session comes around. Everybody's just acting completely fine, totally normal. We're cracking jokes. And about 5 minutes go by into the recording. Devin starts asking like some certain questions specifically to La Llorona because that's where one of her sightings is. And once he starts asking certain questions, after that, the last thing I remember is seeing Christian dolphin diving through my car window to get in and leave. That's the last thing I remember.
Oh,
And
wow.
in the recording, and from what Christian was telling me when we pulled over at a gas station afterwards, he had said that my body was just like doing this, tensing up, and just leaning back very slowly. And he grabbed me, and he's sitting on the left of me right here. He grabs me and like turns me to him, and he says like I just didn't seem myself, and so he got scared, threw me onto the dirt that's right there, and that's when I snapped out of it,
Yeah.
and I woke up just crying, like I was bawling my eyes out, and in the audio you can hear me just like yelling at my friends, just like, get in the car, we need to go, we need to get out of here right now. And i I don't think it was a possession whatsoever. I definitely think something was trying to communicate in a way that was easy for them, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
uh, um I don't know, I had a lot of questions that night, and I still kind of do.
Yeah.
Every now and then I still listen to the audio on my phone of that night. And that's what really made me want to dive more into this.
Yeah. Well, that first of all, that does make sense. Like I'm because I I feel like I contribute like the scratching, the slapping, and the hitting and stuff like that. Like they're trying to communicate and they don't. So like if you ever seen the movie Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore? Yeah,
Yeah,
where he's trying to hit the can and he's going through it and stuff, and he finally does it and he hits it across the room or the subway platform, and like and they don't understand how hard that they're grabbing us physically.
yeah,
They're just like they could be trying to be as light as possible, but they're trying so hard to just have to break that level of communication that sometimes it comes out violently. I don't think all of these things like with scratching and slapping and stuff like that, I don't think that it's all malevolent. You know what I mean?
correct.
So um, but yeah, did in the audio, do you get like any kind of EVPs or anything like that, or is it just or all you hear is your voices?
At one point, I want to say it was in the beginning of the recording, you can hear like some kind of whimper,
Mm-hmm.
but we just kind of wrote it off as a possible animal. Um, Maybe it was hurt. We don't know.
Yeah.
Um, but didn't hear anything after that. And then that happened like 5 minutes later into the recording.
Okay. Do you think the whimper could have been you, like in that state, or did or did that state happen after the whimper?
The the incident happened 5 minutes after the
Oh,
whimper.
okay, okay, all right, all right, and you don't remember anything of while that was happening, correct?
I at all.
Okay. and and then you were like, I'm this is for life, man. We're doing this forever now.
At first, I was kind of hesitant because I won't lie, I was scared out of my mind. Like I came home that night, and my father was the only one awake. And he's a big skeptic. He is one of the most skeptical people I've met, and he sorry, I lost track of thought. Brain fart. Oh, I showed him the audio, and the part where I'm freaking out and crying, he's like, "You sure sounded scared." I was like, "That's it? Like, that's it?" And so after that, I went up to my room and I started like pacing back and forth, just like questioning, like, what the fuck happened tonight? And so after that, I still have a lot of questions. Like, was it just me losing time? Was it like a channeling? Like, I don't know what it was.
Are you struggling with a lack of access to captivating entertainment and media? Are you faced with constant judgment and ridicule from friends and family for your inability to respond appropriately to sensitive situations? If this sounds like you might be suffering from being emotionally dead inside. But it's not too late to make a change. One Nothing Podcast is a newly available treatment for being dead inside. Taken just once every 2 weeks, One Nothing could make a world of difference. By combining carefully measured dark humor to the amazing original formula of grisly fatalities, One Nothing Podcast has successfully entertained thousands of people suffering from death inside. And with access across all podcast platforms, treatment has never been more readily available. But don't trust my word. Here's some real-world testimonials from a few of our listeners currently undergoing treatment.
From consistent doses of One Nothing Podcast, my posture has greatly improved due to being kept on the edge of my seat.
The One Nothing Podcast comes on, everybody be like, shut the f*** up. I be quiet, but when the episode's over, I be talking again.
Oh my gosh, buddy. I used to be on so many medications for blood pressure, and then I listened to One Nothing Podcast's episode on Kitty Genovese, moved into an apartment on my own, and haven't needed it since. That one really got my blood pumping.
You know, listening to One Nothing Podcast, I'm not constipated anymore. I'm just full of shit.
So what's stopping you from great entertainment?
One Nothing Podcast is not intended for all audiences. Listeners under 18 years of age should obtain permission from your parent or guardian before downloading. Tell your therapist if you're predisposed to whining, complaining, reading podcasts poorly, being overall combative, or being easily offended, as One Nothing Podcast might not be right for you.
So stop letting great content pass you by. Talk to your therapist today to see if One Nothing Podcast is right for you.
That is interesting. That would, I feel like that would fuck with me too, like just not knowing, and then it's like there's the possibilities of what could have happened, like, and you don't have any history of like seizing or anything like that.
I don't.
No. Yeah. Huh. That is super duper interesting. Now, was this your first ever like experience with the paranormal?
No, because my mother would tell me growing up, when I got to a certain age, she finally told me that when I was a little boy, I was playing in my room and I would look down a hallway and just follow something, like as if it was just walking down the hallway, back and forth. And
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I feel like I've been around the paranormal ever since I was very, very little.
Yeah, kids are creepy, man. Kids are creepy.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this quick story about my buddy's son. He had brought me up to his bedroom one night a couple years ago. He was like 3 at the time. And you know those wind up things? It's like it's a circle and it has a little arrow in the middle of it and has animals all around it, and you just like
Oh, yeah.
pull it and it goes and makes a sound of that particular animal that the arrow is on. well, he's like, look at this, and he's looking. So like the camera's is me, right? He's like, look at this, and I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. And he like pulls it, and he looks at it, and he looks back at me, and he's like, and he just starts laughing, and then he looks like next to me, and I was just like, and then he's like, see, and then he looks back at me, he's like, see, and he pulls it again, and then he goes, see. And I'm just like, and I just turn my head and like look at the empty space next to me, and I'm just like, and then I look back at him and I go, "Is somebody here?" And he goes, "Yeah." And then he drops his toy and runs out of the room. And I was like, "What the? I'm out of here."
I'd be out.
Yeah, I ran too. And then I get downstairs and I told them the story, and my buddy's wife, the mother goes, "Did you see Abigail?" And I was just like, "Wait, this person has a name?" And they're like, "Yeah, he sees a woman all the time." At least I think it was Abigail. It was, one of those old timey names that don't really get used anymore. You know what I mean? And I was just like, "This happens?" She's like, "Yeah, he sees things all the time." And I was like, "And you're comfortable with it?" Like, because this was like an old farmhouse that was converted into a duplex, out in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow.
And I was just like, that's unsettling.
Very.
But they were okay with it. So I was like, "What? I mean, it's you, not me. So I don't have to deal with this unless I'm over here,"
That's
which
your
I
kid,
just
not
had to
mine.
deal with it. Yeah. The only creepy thing my daughter ever did was I was putting her to bed one night, and she like looked up. So my kids used to share a room, and they had bunk beds, and my daughter was on the bottom bunk, and I was like kind of just like sliding her in there, and my ex-wife was behind me, and she like just kind of opens her eyes, and she's like looks at the bottom of the top bunk, and she's like, "Don't let the cat get me, don't let it get me." And I was just like, "What?" And I'm looking around thinking like there's like a sticker or a picture of a cat somewhere. I mean, we did have cats in the house, but the cats weren't in the bedroom at this particular time. And she's like, "The black cat is gonna bite me." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And frickin' my ex-wife started freaking out. She's like, "Oh my god, there's a ghost in here."
A black
It
cat
was,
specifically, though.
yes, black cat
Wow.
specifically. And she was like, and then she just kind of like turned her head and kind of started falling back asleep. And I was just like, "What the fuck just happened?" Like she was just like frantic, and then she was just like, "Oh, okay." And
I don't know. I don't know how little kids handle it that well. It's like, yeah, this is my friend.
Yeah,
He may hurt you, but who knows?
yeah. She was like 4 at the time too, and it like I don't know. And kids are freaking creepy. There's a lot of people.
Like they
This
don't have
woman
that
was
vial over their eyes.
yeah, for sure. This woman that I had on early on at the start of the podcast, her was talking about her son seeing stuff and that it creeped her out and stuff. And I'm like, man, kids are creepy. I almost named the episode "Kids Are Creepy." But yeah. So all right. So let's go. Have you ever had a sighting or an encounter that you could, I mean, maybe you don't know definitively, but that you could attribute to a possible cryptid?
I have not.
No. All right.
I'd like
That's
to investigate flesh joggers one day. That'd be really
yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Can,
I don't like saying the actual word of what
oh,
they are
okay. Yeah, all
because
right. I
of
get, okay, never mind. It took me a second. I was just like, what are you talking about? Because I was just about to ask you to explain, but now I get it.
skinwalkers.
uh,
I won't say the actual name.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. I understand. Um, so I don't know if you know the podcast Cryptid Warfare, but suppose they want to come up to Maine and hunt Wendigos because there's a lot of Wendigo sightings up here, and they want me to go with them. And I'm like, first of all, Wendigos. I think Wendigos and Dogmen are like the only cryptids that actually scare me. So I'm gonna go, but I'm gonna be terrified the entire time. Just so you know.
I
But
would probably be.
I haven't seen any cryptid, but I do think that have. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I think there was one incident that could be attributed to a walker.
Oh,
I think it was it looked like a coyote, but it was humongous like a wolf. You know what I mean? And then its paw turned into a hand, like a human hand, before it disappeared.
that's pretty weird.
Yeah, and I told my ex-wife, and she's like, "You're crazy. You're crazy." This was the same house that my daughter saw this fucking black cat. She's like, "You're crazy," and I was like, "I swear to God." I was like, "I just saw a coyote." And she's like, "In the middle of the day?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is his paw turned into a fucking human hand." She's like, "Oh my God, don't be ridiculous." And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm 100% serious. Um, but yeah, so what about UFOs and aliens? Where are you on that?
Okay, I do believe in aliens, and I already I have a theory. Well, I feel like they're already walking among us, but I feel like they take form of us as well, and that's why people see doppelgangers.
I was just gonna ask you the like doppelganger, or
And
if you
that
meant doppelganger.
that stuff creeps me out.
Yeah, yeah. My sister's seen doppelgangers like of me before, and when we were kids. And she's like, I followed him into one of the rooms, and then they weren't there. It was weird. And I was like, that's fucking weird.
That's
As long
creepy.
as you don't see one of yourself, you're good.
Because I've had friends tell me like, "Dude, are you at so and like this location right now?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm at home, chilling." They're like, "I swear I just saw someone that looked exactly like you." And I don't know how many times I've gotten that throughout the past few years.
Yeah, I've gotten that too. That's happened to me too. Um, Actually, people try and tell me that I look like John Bernthal, so that's fun. They're like, you could be twins, and I'm like, no, it's not that close. This is just because of the nose, I think. You know what
No.
I mean?
But
But
I definitely think I've seen 2 UFOs in Denton, Texas. Um, my friends and I were actually investigating Goatman's Bridge for the very first time.
do
And
that.
we had a sudden house call when we were in Denton as well. And we met this person when we were just having lunch at Buffalo Wild Wings. And they were like, "Hey, like, are y'all paranormal investigators?" I was like, "Yes." And they wanted a house investigation because they were experiencing things. So we went there later that night after Goatman's Bridge. And as we're like pulling up, I see like 2 lights that are very close together in the sky, and they're both moving at the same like speed, and like they're very aligned, and it looked like 2 separate things, not just one whole. But yeah, I definitely think I saw some type of UFO in Denton.
Wow, that's interesting. And they just went until you couldn't see them anymore, or
They just
yeah.
kind of flew away, but they didn't fly away very fast. It was slow.
Mm-hmm.
So it could have been just like an airplane or something, a drone.
Well, were the both the lights like constant?
They stayed on.
Yeah, yeah. Did they seem bright?
Not really.
Okay. So maybe, yeah. Well,
Because
I
we
could
were
see it from
even
both ways.
because we were looking up as well, like on the internet, to see if there was like any like military planes doing training, because they do like formation training I know that.
Yeah.
But I feel like we would have saw a lot more planes and lights if that were the case.
Yeah. Yeah, and well, with military too, you would have heard them before you saw them. I feel like, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But unless it was like a stealth craft.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, that's interesting. But I want to go to fucking Goatman's Bridge at some point someday.
It is it's a place. I'll tell you that.
It's a place. I'll tell you.
I really don't know how to put Goatman's Bridge in Forest. Like it's very mysterious as well as Old Park Hotel here in Texas. Because people to this day still go out there and do rituals and sacrifices. Because last time we went, we saw like built up sticks and like a circle around it, as if like people could like hang out there or like just light the fire and hang out. But in that area, we found like bones.
Oh shit.
And people have found like decapitated chickens, stuff like that out there. And it's just at night, it gets a little sketch. They also recently found a body at Goatman's.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Damn. How recent do you
Oh,
recall?
this was like a month ago, a month or two ago.
Oh my god. Do you know the details on it or no? You just know
They,
that it.
I think someone just dumped a body there, and the police ended up finding it, or someone found the body and then let the police know.
Oh my goodness gracious. People are freaking wild, man. That people scare me more than the paranormal stuff. I'll tell you that
I will
right now.
always say that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I was talking to Alexander Petikoff too, and a couple months ago. He hunts. Well, he doesn't hunt, but he like searches for Bigfoot and stuff like that. He's part of the Small Town Monsters. Um, and one of his videos, he was out in Florida, and they were walking in the woods, and they came across a random car, and it was just got dark, and they're like, I don't know what's going on with this car, why it's out here in the woods. Like the lights were on, it was running, and they could tell that there was people inside the car,
Nope.
and they were like, well, we're just gonna turn around because you never know what's happening. Like it could be a drug deal, it could be, you know, somebody that has bad intentions, and you just cross their paths, and they make you a part of their bad intentions. So, yeah,
That's all.
they
That's
turned
always the
right around.
worst. That's always the worst part of investigating outside locations.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, I would think so too. But yeah, uh, people are freaking strange, and people do these weird things because they think they're gonna get something out of it, like what you're saying with the rituals. And sometimes they actually do, which is even crazier. Um, but have you ever like gone to a location and actually stumbled across somebody in the middle of like doing any kind of like weird thing?
Culebra Creek here in San Antonio. This is a like woodsy location. A lot of like high schoolers would go there, do graffiti because there's like broken walls and stuff like that. And then you get to a certain area and you find a hanging noose on this huge tree in the middle of the woods. And keep in mind, this is a trail park and it's off the beaten path.
Yeah.
And one night we go there, we get off of the path. Then we start seeing a light and we start hearing talking. We see a man starting to get up and we see a woman sitting next to him. the guy is asking if we have an extra light. And I'm like, yes, but why do you need it when you are using one right now? And it was just really sketch because he kept asking for a light. Maybe he was talking about a lighter or something. But it just seemed really sketch because the lady wasn't talking. And it seemed like he was gonna do something to her before we showed up. And when we did, we started like, okay, we're just gonna ignore him now. Started walking to where that tree is, where the noose is. And they stayed in that same area, and we just kind of left. As we're over where the tree is and the noose, we start hearing him talk to her. Then we're like, okay, like this is kind of getting a little out of hand, and plus they're kind of ruining our audio. And so we go back to him and we just kind of pass him. We don't say anything to him, we just kind of walk by. Then he follows.
Oh shit.
And it's 4 of us that night. So we would be okay to just defend ourselves, but we didn't want to get into a situation like that. So we just kind of started speed walking, and they kind of like went into another path off of the actual trail in the park. That area is pretty sketch at night, and I feel like that's the only time we've really experienced anything sketch like that.
Oh, and that was that night too, you said?
That was at night.
Yeah. Yes. People are fucking strange. People are creepy. People can be creepy.
And it was just 2 people in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, and they were just sitting down in like were they in the middle of the trail or off of it?
No, they were
like the shrubs.
Like where the off the trail.
Welcome to a world of love, friendship, laughter, and everything in between. Get ready for the Couple of Couples podcast, the ultimate podcast about life, hosted by a fantastic foursome. We've got not one, but 2 couples ready to discuss a wide variety of topics, interests, and current events. Join us as we take you on an often hilarious and rarely heartfelt journey through the ups and downs of life. Regardless of your walk of life, there's something for everyone on this podcast. Meet Daryl, Drips, Johnny, and Drops.
Hi, I'm Daryl. I'm a professional nerd, avid gamer, and the self-proclaimed podfather.
I'm Drips, also known as D-Rips, and also not the most articulate.
I'm Drops, listening to find out if I am being held against my will.
And I'm Johnny. I'm willing to do and try most things, and I'm willing to say, well, anything.
Each episode, these 4 fabulous friends will tackle topics like forming friendships, weird science, Delta gummies, origin stories, ear-biting lorikeets, juicy man booties, conspiracies, aliens, ghosts, pop culture, TV, music, and more. And the best part? That was only the first 9 episodes. Let us take you on a journey through the highs and lows of what it means to be alive with witty banter, non-expert advice, and hilarious stories that'll have you in stitches.
If you're looking for the next great podcast, then grab your phone, tablet, or laptop and subscribe to the Couple of Couples podcast on your favorite platform today. It's free, and it's the best way to make sure you never miss an episode. Don't miss out on the laughs, the love, the occasional, did they really just say that? Moment, and some jaw-dropping surprises you won't want to miss.
And speaking of love, let's spread it like confetti. Like, follow, and share our podcast on social media. And don't forget to visit our website at www.coupleofcouplespodcast.com to find links to our show on your favorite platform, links to our social media accounts, contact us, or listen to the latest episodes directly from our website.
Join us on this roller coaster ride as we dip, dive, twist, and turn through everything that the universe throws our way. And don't forget to check out our merchandise store, which can be accessed through our website at www.coupleofcouplespodcast.com, featuring custom designs based on our sound bites from your favorite episodes. Shirts, hoodies, mugs, tote bags, and more.
Couple of Couples Podcast. Because when it comes to love and laughter, 4 heads are better than one. But a dose of laughter, love, and a little bit of craziness? Subscribe now and be part of our fantastic podcast family. Subscribe, like, follow, and share. Let's make love and laughter go viral.
That's so fucking weird.
We just stumbled upon them. Like, it was so weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Now, one of the questions I have for you is what has been your favorite place to investigate and why?
Well, I think the only states I've investigated at is here, Colorado, and Georgia. And I want to say, out of all the places I've investigated, this is a hard one. I would probably have to say either the Old Park Hotel in Ballinger, Texas, or the old Lavaca County Jail in Hallettsville, Texas.
Okay. All right. What would be the reasons for both of those, would you say?
Well, for the jail, I have never experienced so much daytime activity in a location except this one. It's like once it's time for their wake-up call, which is like, what would it be, like 6 o'clock in the morning? It's like once it hits 6, you hear footsteps on the stairs. You hear what sounds like the cages opening and closing. It's just constant noises, constant footsteps, constant disembodied voices. And that's kind of the same thing at Old Park, but their nights are very, very, very active. More so than daytime. But I feel like it's kind of the same activity. Lots of residual activity at the hotel. And lots of footsteps as well. And it's old wood, so you can hear all the steps and the creaks with it.
Wow. I've never heard actual footsteps, but I will tell you this. I was about to record with, I think it was this woman named Valerie, and I was sitting here, waiting for her to come on, and somebody knocked on this door, and it was just me and my dog home. Nobody was here. My kids were at their mother's house. And I looked down at her and I was like, "Was that your tail hitting off the floor?" And like I sat there and I stared at her. She just kind of like picked up her head like she knew that I was talking to her, but then put her head back down. And I was like, And then I tried to like.
She said, "Yeah, that wasn't me, buddy."
Yeah. And then I was like, Rizzo, and tried to get her to like react to and like move her tail to like wag it real quick just to see if I could recreate it, and she didn't even move. So I just stared at the door, and I was like, the more I thought about it, I was like, it was definitely a knock on the door. And so I said, "Come in," and nothing happened. So I went over to the door and I freaking yanked it really quick, and I was like, and nobody was there. I was like, shit. I was like, can you like, I just like yelled out through the house. I was like, can you not do any creepy shit like that, please? Thank you. And then I shut the door.
Like, actually, could you not?
Yeah, please do not do that. But I had a woman on not too long ago too. Her episode hasn't aired yet, but she did an energy clearing of myself and this room, and she said she found an entity, like a trickster kind of entity, hiding in the corner because she said when she does remote viewing, like when she enters the room, like she's very bright, so it sheds light on a lot of these like entities. And ever since well, I may have spoke too soon. I just saw a fucking
I
weird
was
ass shadow.
I was just about to say I saw your head turn as soon as you were saying that.
Oh, yeah, I was like right out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, ah, shit. I'm like, it was like something walked in front of my light over there. That was so weird.
Like it kind of covered it.
Yeah, like just on that side of the room though. I'm gonna have to watch this play this back probably right
to
after we're
see
done
to see if
recording to
there's like
see
a
if
shadow go by.
yeah. Oh my God, that was really weird. But yeah, so since she had done that, there hasn't been anything happening in here until just that. But this is always the room too. This is always the room because this used to be my bedroom, and I had this weird ass shadow person. Just like I woke up to my name being called, and then the shadow person was like coming in, and she was like, it was definitely a female, and she was like going like this as she was walking in, and I was just like, what the fuck? And she was just coming towards me, and I couldn't move. I was in a paralysis, but
Like kind of like a sleep paralysis type
oh
state.
yeah, for sure. Like I opened my eyes to my name. I definitely heard my name being called. And I open my eyes and kind of lift my head, and then this thing comes through my doorway, coming towards me into my bed. And she was like right at the foot of my bed, like about like one more like step, and she would have been on the bed. And the whole time she's coming towards my bed, I can see my phone, and it's like probably this far away from my hand. And I was just like going like this, trying to fucking reach it. And I'm just like, come on, come on, come on. And I freaking it's weird that like, first of all, when you have these situations, like something's coming at you, but you're pretty sure it's not a physical person, but it could have been, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my instinct is to grab my phone so I can light up the room instead of trying to go for a weapon, which my weapon was fucking right there in the fucking nightstand. But I'm just like, go on, and I grab it and I light the bedroom up, and it was gone. I was just like, oh my God. And then
That's
I did
terrifying.
another thing. I had to go pee, and I was like, I'm not going out there. And I was like, fuck, I really have to pee, and I can't pee in here, obviously. And then I did that thing, freaking I got to my doorway, and there's like a little bit of a hallway to my daughter's room to my left, and then the stairs are right there, almost in front of my door. And I looked down the stairs, and I could see the night light coming out of the bathroom, and so the stairwell was kind of sort of lit. And then I jumped out to the left, and I went, ah! Because everybody knows karate chops kill ghosts. Just
Yes.
everybody knows this. It's
And
common knowledge.
roundhouse.
Um, so I guess that would lead me into my next question. What has been, would you say, your scariest experience, or would that first experience, would that have been your scariest?
That first experience is definitely one of them for sure. And
Okay.
I want to say I have two more besides that.
All right.
One of them was, well, both of them are actually from the old Lavaca County Jail. I want to say our third investigation there, Chris and I were getting ready to start our nighttime investigation, and this was like 10 o'clock, 10:30. And as we're like downstairs, he has the camera on me, and I'm doing the introduction to our nighttime investigation. As I'm starting, I can't even get the first sentence out. We start hearing footsteps upstairs. And we listen out, we stop, we listen. They kind of continue just a little bit. Then I continue my speech. Then it starts again. Then we stop once more. Then I go again. And once I start again, dude, this was so loud. You hear full on running footsteps down those stairs. And I swear, because it reminded me of when Chris was running down the stairs earlier that same day, because he got spooked coming down the stairs. He thought someone was behind him, like following him. And I swear it sounded like the same exact steps that he took, because they're both in the video, like him running down those steps physically, and then the disembodied footsteps coming down the stairs later at night. It sounded the exact same.
Oh my God.
And then from that point, we were like, okay, let's check downstairs, make sure nobody ran and hid anywhere. And couldn't find anybody downstairs. We go upstairs. I start doing a spirit box, asking like who was running down the stairs, who was walking up here. Didn't really capture anything. And as we get to the women's cells upstairs, we start hearing movement on the men's side. Then, as we keep listening, Chris pulls his knife out eventually, because at this point it sounded like someone was breaking through the roof. And then as we like kind of get closer, exiting out of the women's cells to like peek out, you just hear like this huge slam. It sounded like somebody like jumped right on, like landed right on top of the cells that we were in, because there was an opening in the roof right where the cells are. And so it sounded like you could hear the scuff of somebody like scooting off of the roof and then boom onto the cells. At that moment, we really thought someone was inside the building. We were like, fuck this. We're calling Lisa, which is co-manager of the Olavaca County Jail. Love her. And she ended up calling Kyle, which is one of the cops in the area. He was like, oh yeah, this happens all the time. He didn't even go inside, bro. He didn't even go inside. He was just like, yeah, this is kind of normal. And we really didn't investigate much after that. We just kind of set up X cameras for the rest of the night until our second night the next day. And then we were there recently, in January. Yeah, we were there in January, and we thought someone did the same thing, but this time we were in the outer cells, and those are unlocked no matter what. There's no spare key while investigators are there to investigate. Nobody can lock the outer cells. They stay unlocked.
Okay.
So that's how we started our nighttime investigation there. And as we're setting up inside of the outer cells, we start hearing like this brick. And there's this brick that sits by that door to kind of like block, I guess. And Chris had set it up a certain way to where if somebody opened it, you could hear it fall. And as we're setting up like the red lights and stuff like that. We hear that cinder block just boom, just fall right on the floor. And it's captured on our camera audio. We stop, and then we kind of like peek out, and it sounded like that main door opens, because the squeak of it sounded like it opened. Then we both pulled our knives out right at the same time. I'm not even kidding. We go to that area, and it's recorded. Doors not open. The brick's not moved. Yeah, nothing was moved. So like, what were we hearing?
Yeah, that's freaking wild. Sorry, I had to turn my mic off because my dog's moving around.
Oh no, you're good.
But that is crazy.
That is definitely one of the most active places we've investigated for sure.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Holy cow. First of all, that first one at night, and then you get that slam on above you, and then the cops like, yeah, this happens all the time. I'm not even gonna go in there. Like, really? What if we go back in there and we get stabbed? They
Yeah,
stab us real good,
we went
Like,
back inside. We were just like, well, like that's it.
oh my goodness gracious. That's funny. Um, so do you have plans to go back there again?
For sure.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was like back in January was our 5th time there, and that was our 3rd 2-night investigation there.
Wow. Wow. Now I want to go there. That
It's
sounds,
amazing.
yeah, it sounds amazing. But
And Lisa,
I so
Lisa and Deb, they're the managers of the jail. They do the tours and stuff like that. They're so
okay.
sweet. They're so nice.
I love it when the people that do the tours and whatnot are described as sweet and nice. Like you hear that a lot. Though there's some places that I've heard that they're not as great, but like it's nice to have people that take care of what they have.
Yeah.
Especially because we're never gonna have definitive proof. We're never gonna have 100% answers to all these questions, but for people to protect the sanctity or whatever the word you want to plug in here, um, to keep future generations interested in coming back and stuff like that, preserving us a place in history, basically, I should say. And I don't know. I like I've history's always been my thing, too. So like just
I love
going to
learning
an
the
old
history.
yeah, just going to an old jail to see what it was like and stuff like that is cool on its own. Not even just investigating for paranormal stuff. Like just being there is kind of cool in my opinion. Like I went I went on my very first investigation in Florida with 305 and Black Smoke. Um, it was a war party. It was a war party
Yeah.
thing. Um, but that was like a Davy school in Davie, Florida. Um, and we went out there and did that, and I learned so much history on Florida. On Florida itself, like because everywhere in Florida, I don't know. Have you ever been to Florida?
Um, I've been to Universal in Florida.
That's what I. But there's like trenches all over the place, like these little like canals, like, and they were dug by humans, by the col- um the colonials or whatever, the
Wow.
settlers. So they dug all these trenches for I can't remember the reason now, but they dug all these trenches and they were in the area and they were while they were doing the digging of the trenches and stuff like that. Um, oh, because I think it was because the Florida's technically under sea level or even with sea level, so it was like a way to like just protect the lands and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that from the swamps and all that. But their kids would go to this school, and two of the houses that are on the property were in different areas, but belonged to I think people that had something to do with the school and stuff. So when they were preserving all this stuff in history, they moved those houses from where they were built to the property of the school. So um, there's a gentleman named Paul that it haunts one of the houses. And then there's a woman named Margaret that's there that really likes Joe. I don't know if you know Joe too,
Yeah.
but yeah, she calls him Daddy, I guess, all the time, which is really funny.
He
And
just walks up in there just like, "Hi, Daddy."
yeah, so I did. Not only was this my first investigation, it was I did my first Estes there. My
Oh, I
first and
love
only
Estes sessions.
Estes. Yeah, it was, dude, it was so much fun. And I want to do it again. I especially want to do it with them. Um, But so there was one part where I'm sitting there and Daddy comes across the speakers. So I said, Daddy. And I could hear, like, I could feel like the rumbling and I could tell that people were laughing. And then Daddy came up again, like probably like a minute after the first Daddy. And
That's pretty quick.
yeah, and then Joe entered the house like right after I said it the
Right after.
second time.
Wow.
Yeah. So
So
we
like
think that
they knew he
we
was walking up.
yeah, that's what we were thinking.
That's so
Um
cool.
yeah.
That's kind of like that reminds me of a location that I've investigated 11 times here in San Antonio.
Oh wow.
We are pretty much like, there's a place here downtown, the VFW Post 76, and it looks like a old Victorian home, and it's huge. Basement, first level has like a bar and just very open. Second floor, and then a huge attic, like full walking, like roomed out attic. I've captured my name being said multiple times and this is when we're like introducing ourselves, like in the beginning of the session, stuff like that. It'll be like, hello, Alex. And then
Wow.
when we were in the basement, it said Chris's name twice. I think it said hello, Chris, and then it just flat out said Chris another time. And so I feel like the spirits at the VFW definitely know Chris and I for sure, especially this little girl. We think we finally got her name. Georgina, I think is her name, or Georgia, because when we were in the attic, we were trying to really focus on the legend downstairs in the basement. In the basement, it looks like there used to be a pool. I'm not even kidding. Like, this basement's huge. It looks like there used to be a pool because you can see the stairs that lead down into this pit that looks like it would be a pool. She had polio, apparently, and that would be her water therapy. And apparently one of the nurses had left her unattended, and she ended up falling and drowning in the pool.
Oh no.
And there's actually an elevator system in the VFW. I don't know if it works anymore. It's pretty old, but they think that elevator was used for her to go up and down the floors. And so that's definitely one spirit that we really try to focus on, because we found out so much information just from her story on one single investigation.
Wow, that's amazing. That is so cool.
I
Oh man.
was actually surprised for my 25th birthday. I had no idea this was happening. I was just told to meet up at the VFW and for us to just take off and go to a restaurant, meet my family and friends, because we could park at the VFW and then just walk downtown and just roam around, because the Riverwalk is right there, right behind the VFW. And two of my friends are walking towards the carriage house area, which sits right next to the VFW. And I was like, I don't think we're supposed to go in there. I don't think there's anybody in there. And they just walked up in there. I was like, y'all, like, and I'm walking to like the doors of the VFW and not the carriage house. I'm like, y'all, like, what are we doing? And so I followed them, opened the door to the carriage house. There are my friends, my parents, my grandmother, and yeah, I was celebrated my 25th birthday at the VFW.
Nice, that's awesome. Uh, I have never had a surprise party. So that's pretty cool. Do you?
I don't think I've ever had a surprise party either.
Oh,
I was like,
really?
my
Nice.
first one, and I don't really like surprises, but I think that opened it up for me a little bit.
Oh,
Like a
that's awesome,
surprise
man.
birthday at a location, a haunted location. That's
Dude.
that's so cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's awesome. So, is this the only place that you've ever gotten your name on the spirit box at all, or?
Um, Old Park Hotel, I've gotten my name before, but Lavaca County Jail, I don't think I've gotten my name there.
Okay. All right. So, when I did the investigation with War Party, with
Mhm.
with Mondo, Steven, and Mela and Jen and Joe, frickin' Mondo was trying to get it to Spirit to say my name, and it never did. But he did tell it to touch me on the shoulder, and all of a sudden I felt like a squeeze on my shoulder. And obviously I didn't know that he asked that, but I was like, oh, my shoulder. I was like, something's grabbing my shoulder. Just felt like a hand just squeezing the shit out of my shoulder.
I was
And I
just
just
about to
kept
say, was it like a poke? Was it like a full grab?
yeah, it was a full on grab and squeeze. It was almost
Oh
in my
wow.
pressure point too. And like my shoulder started feeling really weak, and like I wanted to stretch it. It was like it almost felt like I had just got done working out. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And so that was pretty interesting. And then Mondo sent me the videos that he took, and I'm watching it, and he's like, "Hey, can you? This is my friend Kevin. Can you? This is his first ever investigation. Can you touch him on the shoulder?" Like he literally said, "Touch him on the shoulder," and then probably like a couple minutes later, it wasn't very long after you said it, I was just like, "Oh, my shoulder! Something's touching my shoulder." So like watching it back, I was just like, "Holy fuck, that's crazy." Um, but I did do a second investigation in the Huckamuck Swamp,
Ooh.
up here in New England, um, with my good my now like dude, this guy Phil, we've become pretty good friends. He's an amazing dude, love him to pieces. But yeah, he invited me out, and we went out there. It was at dark in the middle of the woods, and um, my name came across. So there's a couple things. So I'm part native, and um, the my tribe is Penobscot. So Penobscot came across the spirit box, which is weird. I mean, I know it's New England, but it's not a popular tribe. First of all, second of
Yeah.
all, what context would a random um, Massachusetts radio station have to do with a Maine tribe? You know what I mean? Then I think I got my name maybe twice, and podcast came up. So those three together are so weird to the fact that I'm like, there's definitely something to this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was already a believer. Like I was like, don't get me wrong, I was never a skeptic to begin with. But the minute like all three of my name, my tribe, and podcast came up, it was just I was like, yeah, this is
Question after question after question after question. Like
yeah. It was just oh, like, dude, it's crazy. But yeah, and I'm going
I
with
love moments like that. I feel
yeah.
like moments like that are definitely key to a
Mm,
paranormal investigator.
absolutely. Now, so I went and I bought this.
Uh-oh.
Bought this camera.
Oh, sweet.
So it's got
That's a cool rig.
yeah, the light's not charged, so I can't really show you how bright it is, but you got the speaker, it plugs in. It actually has night vision too.
That's
And then
awesome.
the tripod, but I'm probably gonna when I'm out there probably just hold it like this, you know. Um, I might even get a tall tripod for like when just setting it up and stuff like that. That'd be cool. And I bought a spirit box, so like I'm ready. to do this stuff.
Which kind of spirit box did you get? Did you get a S box, SB7?
S box. Oh, I don't have it. It's
From Ghost Dot?
downstairs.
The red and black one?
Red and black, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually use that one a lot. I like it. I usually use AM on it.
Okay.
Just because I feel like FM on the S box, there's a lot of radio stuff like that comes through more than, or Jesus Christ, more than an SB7. And recently we've been using the SB7 a lot more, and I highly recommend, if you do get an SB7, take the antenna out, so that way it eliminates most of the radio.
Yeah, because you want more white noise than you want radio, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So actually, that also leads me into another question that I have for you.
Okay.
What is your favorite tool to use on investigations?
Another hard question. I feel like I have a couple. Is it okay if I say a couple?
You can have more than one. You can have more than one.
Okay. So first one, for sure, hands down, I really like these certain EMF detectors that we use. I don't have it on me over here. But if anything, I'll also send you a link to these as well, because they're so affordable. They're $35 on Amazon. Like, they're unmatched, honestly, in my opinion. And what it does is there's a screen. The top portion reads voltage in the room, which I think is very key to like EMF detecting sessions, because it eliminates power in the room or in the area, and it eliminates false EMF readings, because a lot of EMF readings through like millimeters, mostly electrical. And so I feel like these certain EMF detectors can show you like voltage in the room. Like, you can eliminate, how can I say this? I'm so sorry.
I think I get the gist, but for the people at home,
because the bottom portion reads your milligauss.
Yeah.
And we were at the Old Park Hotel. Okay, here's the best way I can put it. We were at the Old Park Hotel. My mother, my grandmother, sometimes we bring them on investigations.
Oh, that's cool.
My mother and my grandmother were upstairs, and they were doing EMF sweeps, and they got to the doll, like next to the doll room upstairs. And as they're like panning the EMF detector, and this is the highest EMF spike we have ever captured. And to us, it seems like a true EMF reading, like from a spirit, because the top portion was reading 0 voltage, like absolute 0. Our milligauss reading was 18.2, the highest EMF reading that we have ever captured.
Son.
And so I feel like using those specific EMF detectors can help you eliminate electricity in the area and give you true EMF readings rather than like electrical readings.
I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down. That sounds pretty dope, man.
I call to madness.
Hey guys, I'm Tyler.
I'm Thomas. And I'm Jake. And this is a call to madness.
This is a comedy show where we have no idea where these topics will take us.
Whether it be history, relevance between us, or all around straight madness.
Learn with us,
grow with us,
and laugh with us every other Saturday at noon Central Time on Spotify,
Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Just remember, guys,
you called,
but you only found madness.
And
And
you use those a lot?
yes,
Okay.
because when they get to a certain number, it
Mhm.
starts beeping, and the more and more it goes up in the reading, the faster it beeps.
Okay. Nice, man. Nice. I'm gonna have to go get one, especially at $35. Man,
I'll definitely
the
send you a
fact,
link to those.
yeah, I'll put it in the show notes too for people watching that are interested in getting started in this stuff too. Um, which actually, if you have any like um pointers to bestow on a beginner, we would love to hear it.
Um, I feel like I'm still learning
Mm-hmm.
about the paranormal, and use yourself a lot more rather than focusing on a piece of equipment. I definitely feel like if you just go into the location and just walk around the whole location, no equipment, just you, not even like you don't have to record or anything, just walk through and let them guide you. And I really like to do that. I really just like to walk around the location before I even pick up a camera, piece of equipment, and just feel the energy around the place, get accustomed to it. Also, don't just focus on one single piece of equipment, because you never know. Sometimes, like, they won't be able to use, say, for instance, you're doing a spirit box session, you get absolutely nothing. Maybe they can't communicate through that. So switch it up, go to like a digital recorder, and if they don't communicate through that, go to something else like a REM pod. If you do have it, and start asking like certain questions like beep once yes, beep once for yes, beep twice for no, questions like that with a REM pod. Um, and I feel like I can't really give much pointers only because I'm still learning as well.
I mean, I feel like it's a field where you're always learning, no matter how many years you've been doing it.
For
So
sure.
it's if you think you know everything, you should check yourself because there's a good chance that you don't. So, and that's in anything. That's in any kind of field, in any kind of thing. So that's not just paranormal investigating, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Um, but so there's a question that I like to ask everybody. Some
Okay.
people I forget or I don't think of it. But what do you think about the Earth possibly being flat?
I don't think it's flat.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I feel like I
'Cause
can't really get deep into that.
yeah, yeah, no, I get it. Um, I like to ask people just to see what their like train of thought is on the matter, just because it is, um, a conspiracy, and I'm not
Oh
saying that
yeah.
I believe it. You know what I mean? But it's one of the most interesting conspiracies that I have come across, and I love listening to people that are like into it and believe it. I love listening to them talk about it and the stories and the reasons why, you know what I mean? And
You
it's
get to learn like their point of view or perspective on that.
yeah, yeah, and it's fascinating because I mean, and one of the things that they use is like we didn't land on the moon, and I believe that. That part I believe. Like I don't think that we did. I think it was definitely filmed ahead of time, and
Yeah.
it was just cuz to me in the
The
60s.
footprints don't match up.
Yeah, exactly. That too. In the 60s, it was just weird to have um communications, first of all, from there to here, when
Yeah.
we could barely get reception on phones. Like, these are landline phones back then. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
like, but you never know. And then they left the camera there. The camera was already there when they got there, and I'm like, who's holding the camera?
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I guess it. But then I guess it could have been like, what, one of those rotors? What the fuck, rovers? Those little machines with the cameras on them. I guess it could have been that. Um, but yeah, no. So that's one of the things that they use and stuff like that. And and I like to I like to throw like the idea out, like I believe it too sometimes. Like, especially in group chats, I'll just be like, yeah, the Earth's flat, or we live in a glass cup, or something like that, and everybody's just like, what the fuck?
Glass cup, just to like throw them off.
Yeah. And it'll be random too. I'll say it at the fucking most random times. We'll
That's
just be
awesome.
talking, and I'll just be like, hey man, we live in a glass cup, or a glass jar. That's why we get random. That's
A
why
mason jar.
rainbows are in a bow. Because when the sun reflects off the glass, and when it's with condensation, you get the rainbow. uh So, Alex, what do you have in for plans next?
Oh boy. Um, I feel like this year is going to be pretty busy. Um, for instance, the 24th, I'm tagging along with Steven and Mela from Black Smoke Paranormal and Disturbed as Fuck. We are collaborating at Yorktown Memorial Hospital. I'm super excited to be tagging along with them, and just finally getting to meet them in person. Like, we're gonna hang out the 23rd, the night before we go to Yorktown, and I'm so excited to meet them. They just seem really funny and just overall amazing people, and it's gonna be a good time. So Yorktown Memorial Hospital we have coming up the 24th. And then I want to say we're going to try to return to Goatman's Bridge and Forest sometime in April or May.
Okay.
And I'd like to venture out in Galveston, Texas, because I've been finding a lot of old Victorian homes in their historical area.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like this year is going to be really, really cool, especially with a lot of the locations that we have in mind. Lots of old Victorian places.
Nice, man. I look forward to seeing all the stuff that you got going on for this year. Um Now, you're meeting up with Steven and Mela this month, correct?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So by the time this episode comes out, you will have already done that. So, are you gonna be putting? Are you guys doing like a joint video? Like, are you gonna do like any
We're
kind of
both
like YouTube or anything
they're
like
gonna
that?
have their video, I'm gonna have my video, but I'm also gonna be editing their video as well, and we're gonna share footage, point of views. I'm really excited to see how everybody's point of view is gonna be for this
Yeah.
investigation. It's gonna be crazy because like
Awesome, man.
there's gonna be a lot of people. I mean, not really a lot of people, but especially because of the location. It's a big hospital,
Yeah.
and so oh, it's gonna be so fun. This is a location I've been wanting to investigate ever since I started Ghost Seekers, and man, it's gonna happen with some amazing people, and I can't wait.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I am so happy that you're excited, man. I can see it all over your face. Look at that smile, man. That's awesome. I love this stuff. I love it when, people find their passion, and they go after it, And what better people to do it with than Mela and Steven?
That's gonna
You
be
know?
so fun.
That is dope, man. I'm happy for you. I am so happy for you. No, I got, for me, this year is already, stacking up to be amazing. I'm going back out to the Huckamuck Swamp in like a couple weeks.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm vending a couple events. I got
Hell
I
yeah.
got a business that I'm starting, where I'm making hot sauce, and that's gonna be fucking dope as fuck. And
Yo, I
uh,
will buy all your hot sauces because I am all about everything spicy. I love
nice.
flavor. I just love food, sauces, anything.
So listen, I'll tell you right now. So by the time by the time this airs, I might have my second flavor. So my main flavor is lemon, like that's the taste. So you taste lemon with the heat. And I've been making that for
Mm.
like ever, but I've like I got it down to a science and it's perfect the way that I personally like it. So I was like, I bet other people would like this. So I started giving it to people at work and stuff, and they're like, "This is amazing." I was like, "I'm gonna make this a business." So that's what I did, and then
Hell yeah.
I started working with a nutritionist, right? Because my job went from being like extremely physical to like I'm sitting a little bit more than I want to. So like I'm
Mhm.
trying to find that healthy medium of what I should be intaking throughout my day so that I don't freaking end up being overweight, because I can't eat as much as I was when I was extremely active to being a little bit less active. Like I still go to the gym, obviously. But so I was talking to her about my business, and I was like, I want to do this flavor, and she's like, hear me out, blueberries, and I was like, I like that. So that's the next flavor that I'm working on literally right now. And I made a batch, and it's not where I want it to be, but it is still good. So my next flavor is blueberry.
Okay. Ooh.
So the hot lemon. So the first one that I have is hot lemon squeeze, and that one's pretty hot. So if you like really hot, like you said you like spice, so if would assume that you like it really hot. That
Yes.
would be probably the best one as of right now, out of the two to get. But I am gonna be making one with a ghost pepper at some point.
Sign me up.
Nice. All right. Also, for everybody listening and for Alex as well, I am. It's not hasn't been the event hasn't been officially announced yet. She has talked about it um, on the internet, but I will be doing my first speaking event coming soon in September in Massachusetts.
Yo, that's
So
awesome.
yeah, thanks. I'm excited, a little nervous, but I think I'll be all right. I
You
mean,
got this. You got
yeah,
this.
I have things that I know I want to talk about, and I'm gonna cover some history up here in Maine with cryptids because it's a cryptid fest, so I
Oh
have
yeah.
to touch on cryptids. Probably tell one of my stories that I probably either the walker or the possible. I'm not 100% sure if it was a dog man, but that's what I think I saw. So that either one of those stories I'll tell. Um, and then just speak about mental health and these paranormal that mental health is a big thing that goes into like all these experiences, and I
Mhm.
love talking about it. um because I just want people to know that they're not alone in these experiences, and there's so many of us and out there that have had these experiences. I mean, I'm almost at 100 episodes. I mean, you might be at episode 100. To be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure at this moment,
That's kind of
but
cool.
yeah. And so like just that fact alone, that there's so many people that have experiences that talk about it, and I just want people to know that are struggling with these experiences and not knowing, like, is anybody people are going to think I'm crazy. Like nobody's that well, there probably be people that do, but those people aren't open-minded. um so like there is a safe place, and I want to create that for people, and that's
That's
what I like to
that's
talk
so
about.
awesome.
So
I love that.
thanks, man. Thanks, man. um but there was Another question I wanted to ask you before I got to the wrap up question. And it has escaped me. So, I'll just ask the wrap up question, and if it comes to me while you're answering it, I'll go into that. So
Sounds good.
My wrap up question is, are you finding fulfillment in your life with everything that you're doing? Like, you got your paranormal group and stuff, and you have fun with it. Do you feel fulfillment in doing this?
I definitely think so, because we definitely had confirmation for that. I want to say our fourth time investigating the Old Lavaca County Jail. Lisa, just mid interview, just basically praised Ghost Seekers as a whole. She talked about how like good investigators we are, and just how nice, respectful we are to them, and just overall an amazing team. And I can't thank her and Deborah enough for that. And I can't thank them enough for allowing us to continue to come back and investigate their jail.
That's awesome, man. That is so cool. I love that. Shout outs are like one in a million. Like that helps out so much. You know what I mean? Um, I've been like me personally. I've gotten a few now, and doesn't it feel kind of weird? Like having somebody praise you like that, like just shouting
It
you out like
did.
that.
It did. And honestly, Chris and I were just kind of looking at each other like, wow, dude, like, is this happening like right now? Because it was just mid interview. She just broke interview and just started saying all that. And we were just like, huh? Like, we were just so confused because it took a total right turn. And in the moment, I honestly started tearing up, because like, I was just like, wow, like, I I'm proud of myself and where I've gotten my team. And just it's amazing. It definitely catches you off guard, and at the same time, it just it it warms your heart for sure.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I can't tell you. There's so many like even like the most minuscule like shout out I get. It's it causes like so many different emotions. Like I'm just like, wow, this person just like took this time to say something nice about me, or to even just put me on their platform. You know what I mean? And but yeah, like just the paranormal community has been amazing, and um I just think everybody is so freaking nice and so helpful, and nobody so far haven't ran into any egos yet. And I hope that I don't, but people are people, and they're going to be people, and one of the people things that they do are being people. But yeah, no, there's a lot of people with egos that think they're the shit, and it portrays, and sometimes it's you know and sometimes they like to sabotage other people because they see them being successful and stuff like that. But um anyways, man, I'm so happy for you. That warms my heart too,
I'm
to
happy for
that
you too, man. That's
that
awesome.
she did that. Yeah, thanks, man. So where is that interview? I don't know if you said.
That was at the Old Lavaca County Jail.
Okay. All right. What's the show that the interview was on?
It was on our
Or
channel.
okay. Um, and so if you don't mind, because I still can't remember that other question. I felt like it was a good question too. So maybe maybe I need to do something for my brain, so I don't forget these questions. But if you don't mind, just letting everybody know one more time where they can find all your stuff.
Of course. Again, we are Ghost Seekers TX. You can find us on YouTube, TikTok, Threads, pretty much every platform you can find us on. Ghost Seekers TX.
Yes, man, nice. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. I hope you enjoyed Alex's stories. Maybe we'll have him on again in the future, maybe towards the end of the year, and we can get some of the stories of investigations that he did this year. But before I let you leave tonight after we're done recording, I just send me an address so I can send you some merch, and when I have hot sauce, I'll just send them to you. You don't have to buy it. I'll just send them to you. Just as my gift to you for being on the show.
Oh, dude, you don't have to do that.
I know, man. I wants to. So, but anyways, I'll send you like a little care package, hot sauce and one of the hot sauces and a t-shirt.
That's awesome.
And but please show Alex and Chris some love. Is it just you and Chris?
Yes, it's just us two.
As of right now? Okay. So go show them some love. Ghost Seekers TX on all the platforms, as he just stated. If you liked today's show, please like, follow, and share, and subscribe. That is the best way to help this show grow. Another good way is to leave a rating and review. Also, if you leave a review, I'm going to read it on the intros. So I don't know if you want to shout out, or not, that's fine too. But you can also leave a rating and review on the website. That is where the weird ones are, podcast.com. That's what you can get to the merch store through there. You can see the picture, the gallery, picture gallery of everybody who has merch and has taken a picture and has been so kind enough to send them to me. The blog is there as well. Patreon has been launched so far. There should be, by this time this episode comes out, there should be a couple Patreon exclusive episodes on there. So Weirdos Only is the page you want to go get, man. It's only $5 a month. You get free coffee mug. You get early access to the shows. You get the extra episodes, Story Time, and Conspiracy Tuesday. So, anyways, with that being said, Alex, again, man, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. It was awesome talking with you, man.
It was awesome talking to you, and I'm so glad we finally got it done.
Me too. It's been a long time coming.
It's been literally months. So again, everybody show Alex some love, and do all the things that I told you to do. But if you don't, I still love you. But remember, question everything and stay weird.
This concludes our broadcast day. Click.
Because in the end, none of us have very long on this earth. Life is fleeting. And if you're ever distressed, cast your eyes to the summer sky, when the stars are strung across the velvety night, and when a shooting star streaks through the blackness, turning night into day. Make a wish.